Hey guys, welcome to my vlog. Today, I'm going to be talking about episode 2 of season 15 of Deadliest Catch. In tonight's episode, it started out with a continuation of the Brenna A and Saga. They set pot for pot on the Northwestern. Sig was not very happy with what Sean and Jake Anderson did. They're like, we're done with this. So Mandy Hansen was like, let's move 5 miles south. And so they did that. And then later on in the episode, Jake Anderson on the Saga, he and his crew started pulling the pots that they set pot for pot on the Northwestern. And it turned up to be 10 or 11 king crab in a pot, which is a low number when you're king crab fishing. 40 plus king crab in a pot, that's where you're making money. Each king crab is $70 plus. So you get 40 some crab or 50, 60 some crab in a pot. You'll make $3,000 or $4,000 plus in a single pot. So if you have 200 pots, that's a lot of money. Jake also has a offload. He and Sean talked, and they're like, if we hit crab, we'll tell each other. If one of us hits crab, we'll let each other know. So Jake went west, and Sean went south. And so Jake he set his pots, and then when he went there, he wasn't pulling blanks, but he was not doing very good. Sean went down south and he found the crab, and Sean went south, and while he was setting his pots, his cousin who was working on the Brenna A, Sean's cousin Luke tied all the pots down on the stack, and he forgot where some of the ties were, so when they tried pulling the pots up, they were still stuck to the other pot, so they had to figure out where it was and untie it, and then continue from there. So that was not working out very well. And then once they got the pot set back through their string, and they were doing really good. And Sean had his cousin doing the crab count, putting the crab into the tanks. And so then they get the crab quota they need, and they go into town, and Sean calls Jake on the Saga and tells him, I've got 90 pots that are loaded with crab. I'm not going to take them in because Sean's king crab season's done, and now they're going to go out bear die fishing. So Sean gave Jake Anderson 90 pots full of crab, and pots for Jake to use for the rest of king crab season and get his offload done. So that happened, and Jake goes down to the Brenna A's pots, and he finds 40 to 60 crab in each pot, and so he's gonna meet his deadline. And that's how a real partnership should work when you're crab fishing. You work together and you help each other out. Jake, the past couple seasons, his partnerships hadn't really worked out. He partnered with Sig Hansen on the Northwestern a couple times, and last year he partnered with Keith on the Wizard, and that fell apart. Jake and Sean on the Brenna, they found a really good working ship and partner, so that's really cool. They're the young guns. It's basically the young guns versus the veterans right now. The Northwestern, they get their pots, and they're doing really good. They're getting 50 to 60 crab in each pot, which is really good. And then the Brenna A goes into town and starts offloading their crab. And Sean's cousin Luke, he did not do very good sorting the crab. There was a lot of small crab. So if you have a small crab or female crab, those are big fines, like $20,000 fines, and Sean will have to go to court, and it's not very good. And also, Sean is trying to expand his family's business by buying another crab boat, and he has the opportunity, but he's just not happy right now because he has to deal with the fines and his reputation is tainted a little bit. He called his cousin Luke, went up to the wheelhouse to talk to Sean, and Sean basically let him know that what he's been doing was not good. So he let his cousin go, and he was like, "I love you, but you just gotta learn." And so that happened. And then, so the wizard, he moved way down south. So Keith finds the southern wind is like 15 miles away from him, and the southern wind and the wizard, they got into it like over a decade ago. Like Harley, on the captain of the southern wind, long time ago, he set Keith on the wizard pot for pot, which if you do that, you're going to take all the crab away from the person who was originally there. And when that happened, when they were both on shore, Keith and Harley, they basically got into a fist fight, and it was ugly, and they hate each other. They just, there's bad blood between them, and they both have the biggest boats in the fleet. So it's basically big boy versus big boy, raging war right now. So Keith calls up the southern wind on the radio, and Keith gives Harley on the southern wind false information to go south. So Harley goes up and finds one of Keith's spots and spot checks it, and find out there's about 60 plus crab in a pot. So Harley starts sending Keith pot for pot, and so that happened. And when Keith is going through his gear, he's stacking it and moving it because he doesn't want to be around Harley, and he knows the crab are gonna move farther south. He finds one of the southern wind's pots, and they pull up the buoy and they poke a hole in it, so when Harley's crew on the southern wind goes to pull the pot, there's like 100 and some pounds of water in the buoy, so they have a hell of a hard time picking it up, getting it out of the water. So that happens, and then the wizard goes and sets his pots, the wizard sets pots in a different spot, and Harley goes back to his string, and he's pulling blank after blank after blank, which means there's no crab in a pot. So Harley gets to the pot where Keith on the wizard poked a hole in the pot, and Harley's not very happy, and Harley calls up the wizard, and they start talking, and not good. So coming up during this season, Harley, the big guns are going to be going at it, and it's going to be crazy, and I think it's going to get ugly. So stay tuned and continue watching this season like I'm going to do. I'm going to keep watching this because I love Deadliest Catch, and I hope you guys too. Until next week on the update on an episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you haven't seen Deadliest Catch, please go check it out because it's really awesome. And I also found out that my cousin's fiance, he was out filming this season of Deadliest Catch with one of his friends. I hope you guys enjoy this video and check out the rest of the season, and please share this video with your friends and family, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you ain't dreaming, you ain't living. Don't forget to dream big.